Moses and his leadership team. And Moses said, go ahead and do that, but just don't forget, you're not complaining against us, you're complaining against God. And Paul used these experiences of the Israelites to make the same point when he wrote to the Corinthians. He said, nor complain, as some of them also complained, speaking of this time I just mentioned, and were destroyed by the destroyer. What Paul is saying is if you work it out in your own life and you take what God has given you and you develop these disciplines, you won't be a complainer. That'll get off your list. Here's the next one. He said, straight living in a crooked world. Verse 15, that you may become blameless and harmless, children of God without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. And this doesn't mean we have to live perfectly. He didn't say that you may become perfect. He said blameless and harmless. That means live a life that nobody can point a finger at you and say, oh, did you know, live a life of godliness. And it's interesting that the word harmless means to be pure, unmixed. He also says that this world in which we live is crooked. He says, you become blameless and harmless, children without fault in the midst of a crooked world. You know the word crooked in the language of the New Testament is the word scolios, from which we get the word scoliosis, which is the medical term for the curvature of the spine. It's a tremendous picture. Paul says the world is crooked. Stand up straight. When you stand up straight for God, you will be noticed, I promise you. If everyone else is bending down and you're standing up straight, you're going to get some attention. And I think that's what the Bible means when it says, be ready to give an answer to everyone who asks you about the faith that is in you. Be ready. And you know, we cannot do that in our own strength. We need the power of the Holy Spirit working in us and cooperating with the thing that God has called us to do. And then there's a third thing. He talks about radiant living in a dark world. He said in verse 15, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding fast the word of life, so that I may rejoice in the day of Christ, that I have not run in vain or labored in vain. Paul said, in the midst of this world, we live in a world of darkness, and it seems like it's getting darker all the time. Shine as a light in that world. Jesus told his disciples, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. And Paul reminded the Christians, for you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. And Paul does not leave us passively shining in the darkness. He doesn't say, go just be a good person.